Hi everyone, and welcome back to White Coat Chronicles with me, Tori. We are back, guys. We are back. I'm excited and inspired to be starting my weekly grind with the podcast again. I've honestly just been taking this time to really just relax. And even though this is like a little passion project for me, I have this thing where I want everything to be perfect. So I've been just taking a step back. And also, I want to make this like a med school podcast. And I found that, I don't really have anything to talk about involving med school. But the time has come. Okay, it's currently July 29th, 8:30 p.m. I have a lovely Aperol Spritz next to me, and we are leaving in 3 days. 3 days we are taking the trek to Ohio. These past couple weeks I have just been feeling the emotions. I have been very reflective, just kind of looking back at this year, looking at the people that have influenced me a lot, that have changed any way I think about things, my friends, my family, people that aren't in my life anymore but were at some point this year, and what I've learned from them. And yeah, I'm feeling very grateful to have had this gap year. If you don't know, I was supposed to be doing this Fulbright program this year. I wasn't supposed to. I could have done it. I didn't get it. I basically made it to the last round and got second runner-up. I would have been in Reading, which is kind of close to London in the UK, doing my master's in food and nutritional sciences. And it's something that was like a big part of my med school application. And honestly, just like my junior and senior year of college, it was huge for me. I didn't get it, and as much as I wish I had it to put on my resume, and like being so for real, I think I learned more from it not getting it. And I've been able to stay at home and really just spend quality time with my family and friends. And I feel like I didn't do a lot like with my gap year, like your typical like travel all over the world and like volunteer or do research. Like I worked and I stayed home and I went out every weekend basically, and I enjoyed myself, and I really just learned a lot about myself. Honestly, I've been working really hard on dealing with anxiety and this constant like need to do everything perfectly and to always be going. I fear I've learned how to relax. I learned how to get up later. I learned how to take consistent naps. I think I nap like almost every day. I love it. I look forward to my siestas. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling such mixed emotions doing this episode. I feel like I have kind of been putting it off because I don't want to like talk about it out loud, but just a mixture of nerves and excitement. And I remember in psychology learning that like anxiousness, or I guess to put it in simpler terms, butterflies, whenever you're excited or whenever you're nervous, like it comes from the same hormones. And it's kind of funny because like whenever you feel nervous, you could kind of turn that into excitement and vice versa. But I've been feeling both of those things. And here we are, ready to talk about everything I had to do before starting school. So just to clarify, this isn't going to be an episode of like everything I did to get into medical school. It's more like when you get into your medical school, when you put your deposit down, there's a lot of things that you have to do before you are able to start school. And I just kind of wanted to share that, all of the different things. Being a first generation med student, I really had no idea about any of these things, and I want to share them. So if you are in a similar position as me, in a year, in 2 years now, you can refer to this if you need any advice or if you're feeling overwhelmed, because there's a lot of checklists. And it's overwhelming, honestly. Kind of annoying and overwhelming because everyone's like, relax, but there's a lot of things you need to get done. With that being said, all med schools are different. They all require different things. I'm going to be talking specifically about my med school, which is Ohio University Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine. Yeah, let's get into it. First things first, high-low piccolo. Hi. This is just like a no-brainer for me. The Rufus Du Sol concert. This past weekend, my friends and I went to see Rufus Du Sol. It was just magical, guys. It was so good. Like, everything about it, we did it right. I fear we started getting ready at like 1 p.m. We were ready to go at like 3:30. Had a fun little pregame in Gabby and Sophia's apartment in New York City. Took all the public transportation to Jersey. Got there early because we were general admission and wanted like good spots. And it was just so good. It was so good. The weather was good. Like, I know their Friday concert at the same venue was like super rainy and there was a lot of problems, but thank God we went Saturday because they got their shit together and it was perfect. Interbloom, of course, the highlight. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, just specifically with me and my college friends, we would always listen to Interbloom like before we went out or like after a night out. If we're just like in someone's bedroom chatting, we just like put Interbloom on. I recently found out my therapist journals to Interbloom. Love that. I think I might have to start doing that. It's just like, so good. So good. Low in general is just having like 3 days left is a little weird. I just feel like I'm on like someone else's time right now. It's not my time. I'm just kind of going through the days. Like, I don't have anything crazy planned these next couple of days. I went out with a crazy weekend exactly the way I wanted to, and these next couple of days I'm kind of just doing my normal routine, which is my stay-at-home mom era routine, where I wake up, go to some sort of workout class, come home, make breakfast, sit outside, drink coffee, do some things for med school, nap, go on a walk, make dinner, watch TV, like that. Those are my days. Those are my most ideal days, and that's what I've been doing. But in a way, like, I want this to last forever. I want like another week before I leave, but I also kind of just want to fast forward to Friday and get there because this time just feels weird. Piccolo, this is kind of, I don't know. This is like a low and a piccolo together. I haven't really thought about this in a minute, but just recording this episode, I was reminded of it. I recently found out that a patient where I used to work died, and he was an interesting person, definitely interesting, but unfortunately he fell victim to the doctor that I worked for and how she overprescribed narcotics. Just really bad, like really bad how much he got. I just remember, like, I would take his urine sample and she would ignore the results. It was really bad. Like, the urine sample, when the results came back from Quest, like, it was just red flag after red flag. And I found out he died. And he was, like, 43 years old. So that's really random and a sad piccolo. But I share because this place was crazy where I worked. Like, just absolutely crazy. And it just go, like, thank God I'm out of there. Losing someone to, like, medicine, it's just so sad. It's so crazy to wrap your head around. People struggle with so many different things, and it's just hard when a doctor isn't the one to make it better. They honestly make it worse. So, yeah. Okay, I really don't know how to, like, transition out of that, but I'm just gonna try. Medical fact of the day. This is no recommendation because I am not even close to being a doctor yet, but I like to share these facts because I love learning fun facts that have to do with medicine, and I like to share. So, I've been, like, super into, like, medical cosmetic stuff. I've gotten lip filler, and I've been doing microneedling. I've done 3 sessions. I'm saying I'm like super into it. Those are the only things that I've done. But I have learned from this medical spa that mineral sunscreen is the way to go, guys. I feel like if you're on the right side of the internet, a lot of influencers are like sunscreen, put sunscreen on, make it part of your morning routine. Even if you're not planning on like tanning, you just put it on. Not only does it protect from skin cancer formation, but it also just prevents aging, dark spots, yada yada. And unfortunately though, the makeup and like cosmetic companies have been making bank out of making all of these like great smelling sunscreens and like tinted sunscreens and all of this. But unfortunately, there are not enough mineral, like Sephora sunscreens out there. I can tell you this because I recently went and I said, I need a mineral sunscreen, and I had 3 options. But I mean, 3 is better than none. So the reason you want mineral sunscreen is because with other sunscreens that don't include minerals, you won't get burnt, yes, but it doesn't have the properties that prevent aging, like wrinkles and stuff like that. So if you are trying to include sunscreen into your day-to-day routine, your morning routine, look for the mineral sunscreens. Unfortunately, they kind of still do smell. Mine, it's called ultraviolet because those are the rays it actually protects you from. The sun has like a couple different types of rays that it gives off. Anyway, and I actually really like it. It's SPF 50. Yeah. Alrighty, now we are into the episode, everyone. The bulk of the episode, everything I needed to do before I got to med school. Okay, I'm honestly getting my school's orientation must-do checklist up because there is so much stuff, guys. So much. First off, most med schools, you will need a background check, which is fine for me, thank goodness. But you will need that. I also needed an FBI and BCI fingerprint check. This was a process because this is where the negatives come of being an out-of-stater, because they're like, okay, if you're from Ohio, just click this link and I don't know, it's just way easier. But if you're not, then do these steps, reach out to your district attorney. Like, bro, the New York district attorney is never going to respond to me. So Tori took matters into her own hands. I actually reached out to someone in my class. He helped a lot. But I think I figured it out. It was crazy. I had to get fingerprinted and then send it to Quantico, the FBI headquarters, and then they had to send it back. Like, what the heck? I don't know. It's just silly, and I needed to include that. Okay, I also have a book that I have to read. It's called Make It Stick: The Science of Successful Learning. Honestly, guys, when I saw that we had assigned reading, I'm like, oh, interesting. Here we are, back to college, back to high school. But this is such a good book. Highly recommend it to anyone at any stage of your life, most especially if you're going into any graduate program, if you're going into college, high school, I don't know, but it's just the science of successful learning. It talks about why learning is hard, how a common theme is change. There's so many definitions of what it is to learn, but a theme throughout them all, if you look closely enough, is change. And it's honestly because our brain literally physically changes. Like, the neural paths change. I'm not even going to pretend that I know all about that because I don't yet, but it just is what I really needed to read, honestly, because I feel like I'm going to have to change a lot of my study methods. In med school, I was like, I don't know, in college I wanted to cover everything, and I took my pretty notes and I rewatched things and reread things, and I just, like, it worked for me in college. It didn't work for me on the MCAT. I didn't do well on the MCAT. That's, hey, hello, this is my whole, like, kind of niche thing with this platform is I had a low MCAT score and I still got into med school. But it just kind of made me realize, like, I didn't study for this right. Like, I don't know what I did, but I didn't do it right, and I need to figure out a way to get on my shit because exams are never going to end, especially standardized exams. I have STEP, the USMLE if I want to take that, like all of those things. And I need to just, like, get some good learning strategies under my belt. And this book is great. It has me like motivated to learn. And if you're into science, it has a lot of like science backings in it. But they also have an author, because it's like two scientists and then an author. And the author makes it into more of like a story format where they give like stories of people and how they applied this learning. So it's kind of easier to read. But yeah, love it. Great book. Okay, you also have some trainings you have to do. Every school's different. Again, I don't know how it is, but we have to do a HIPAA training, an OSHA training. Basically just learning about how to handle blood, how there's a lot of pathogens and a lot of health risks when we're in labs and stuff like that. Kind of like, honestly, those videos were a lot for me. Like, not academically. I was just like, oh my gosh, why was it so hard to sit through all of them? I don't know. Another thing, and sorry, this is kind of all over the place, but I'm just going through it. So we have our white coat ceremony the Friday after orientation. So we have orientation this coming Monday, August 4th, and that goes through Friday, August 8th, and that Friday is our white coat ceremony, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why I thought they did it later. Well, actually, I do know why I thought, because my friend Shannon, who is in PT school, her white coat ceremony was April of her first year. So she kind of like had the schooling already and then had her white coat ceremony. But to prepare for the white coat ceremony, they just like want to know how to pronounce your name, yada, yada, stuff like that. I am excited, though. I will get to see my family one more time because it makes like leaving this Friday less scary, because I know I'm just going to see them in a week because they're coming out for the white coat ceremony. So that'll be nice. Okay, now one of my favorite parts, our back to school list. I used to live for this shit, guys. Whenever I was younger, I would love to go back to school shopping. I thought it was the most fun thing ever. Oh, I love doing it. I actually remember one year in middle school, my mom did this thing where she like pre-ordered all of our supplies from our school, and I was like, absolutely no, like cancel that right now. Like I need to pick the colors of my notebooks. That is not okay. Anyway, silly young Tori. So here we are, upgraded version of a back to school list, our medical school back to school list. So let me just go through this with you. A white coat. They say they're giving it to us. Thank God they're giving us something. Thank you. Second thing, a diagnostic set, which is an otoscope and an ophthalmoscope. Ophthalmoscope? God, I'm pronouncing that wrong. That's embarrassing, but we're being real. Oh my gosh, so I got that. That was hella expensive. Third thing, a stethoscope. Professional double-sided, blah, blah, blah. A Littman is the one that they suggest. Naturally, I got mine engraved. I got a like all black one, and I got it engraved with just my name. I don't know where I saw this, but I saw to like not get your first stethoscope engraved with like, it would be like Tori DO, because people will just like cringe, like what if you don't make it through med school and like you just have like a DO thing on your stethoscope. So to kind of prevent any bad luck or bad karma for coming, I think this is what I got it. I got it engraved and it says Dr. Tori. I'm sorry, I had to. Like, I love it. I love it. Next thing. Oh my God. A sphygmomanometer. Oh, give me a second. Let me look up how to pronounce this. Sphygmomanometer. It is a blood pressure cuff, guys. I don't know why we have to be fancy out here, but it is a blood pressure cuff. We had to get a percussion hammer, which is like what they use to test your reflexes. Tuning forks for neurological testing. EKG calipers. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I'm just reading through this list again. I'm like reminded by it doesn't sound like a lot, but let me tell you, I will say it right here. I spent like over $800 on all of this stuff. It's just absurd. Like, my back to school shopping list was never this expensive. Kind of upset they don't provide this stuff. Like, I get the stethoscope. That's going to be in ears. So you probably don't want to provide that. But why doesn't the school give that to us? Just a little thing. I don't know. Here I am complaining already. But yeah, you need to get a lot of stuff, so start saving, y'all. Okay, now immunizations. There's a lot of that because, I don't know, it makes sense. I feel like if you ever volunteered at a hospital or did anything in like a healthcare setting, most of the time you need all of these immunizations, and I think they kind of expect us to be doing that, so you might as well have everything ready. What I needed, and this was all after May 1st, so if you had the stuff before, funny, you had to get it again. Or at least some of the stuff, not everything. First thing, COVID-19 vaccine, Tdap, primary Hep B, secondary Hep B, MMR, what else? Influenza, TB screening, TB blood test. It was a lot. It was just like the way my school has it, you have to like update each one individually. And I had some of this stuff because I needed to get it for other things, but it was just annoying that I had to do it again. So yeah. And then the last thing I'm just going to talk about is some videos I had to watch. I had 30 videos. The first 15 were like wellness in med school, like how important sleep is, how to use our academic website. Like in college we use Moodle, and it's so funny, we also use that in high school. So it was like easy to pick up on for me, but in med school we use eMedley, at least my school we do. So just like getting adjusted to that. And then the rest of the videos were just like introduction videos. So for example, I have medical morphology introduction, nervous system introduction, histology, nervous tissue, connective tissue, biochem overview. And yeah, I've been kind of just doing those this week because I wanted to just do them as close to the start of school as possible, so it's all kind of fresh in my mind. But thankfully, we have this group me with all the incoming first years and some of the like student leaders that are second years or third years. And people were like asking like, oh, where do I get the PowerPoints? Where do I get the slides from these videos? And then someone was just like, basically like, girl, don't worry. They're really not going to be tested on these concepts. Like, calm down. And I was like, thank God. So I'm watching these videos, taking little notes just honestly to keep myself engaged because they're long. But it's kind of just nice, like, refreshers. So appreciate that. But, you know, it's still something to do. Alrighty, y'all, and that's kind of it. I don't know why when I started this episode, I'm like, there's so much to do. Like, I have to get into it on an episode. But, I mean, this kind of helped, like, putting it on one place because it's manageable. What scares me the most, or, like, it just is hard to think about, are all the people that have been recently accepted off the wait list and have to do literally all of these things in, like, 2 weeks. God bless their souls, but you got to do what you got to do. Like, you get into med school, you go. Doesn't matter what time it is. Thankfully, I knew I was going here March, I think it was. So I definitely had a head start in all of these things. I feel pretty on top of it, but I'm also proud of myself because, like, old Tori would be like, let me finish all the videos right away. And, like, oh no, I'm not done with the book yet. I'm, like, leaving soon. But we are taking it in strides and really trying to enjoy the last couple days here. So I'm doing everything like incrementally, but not trying to like go crazy with all this stuff. Obviously, like the immunizations, the supplies, different certifications, I wanted to get done out of the way. But when it comes to like learning and the stuff that they really give you just to kind of wake up your brain and be like, okay, hey, you're starting medical school, I'm taking my time with. So with all of that being said, that is kind of it for this episode. I hope it just opened some of your eyes and ears to what starting medical school includes, just like the things that no one really talks about. I just wish I knew this going into it, so here I am telling you all. I'm moving so soon to Ohio, and I think my next episode will be in my new apartment. That little guy has a lot of stuff that needs to be done to it, so I'm excited to like start making more videos and just getting myself back out there on the social media world with this podcast because it's so fun to me. It really is. And I love the little community of like med school influencers. I don't know if I'll ever be like one of those people, but I like to contribute to that world. So thank you all for listening. If you're new, hi, I'm Tori. You made it to the end of an episode. Congratulations. And yeah, I will see you guys when I am in Ohio. Okay, bye.